I'd say happy Veterans Day. It's kind of gloomy here in Florida, hot and sticky. I wasn't thinking too much about Veterans Day until I was reminded by one of the viewers on one of the comments down one of the previous videos that it is Veterans Day, and that a lot of companies were doing freebies for veterans. So I decided to look it up after work, and was looking up, like, just like lunchtime. I was like, maybe I'll try to get something, if they're participating. So I Googled, because where I'm at right now, there's like a Walmart, and then because I went to Walmart to buy some food and stuff. But there was also a Taco Bell, McDonald's, Burger King, and some other food places. So I decided to Google to see if any of them would be participating. And it says like Taco Bell participate with selected stores, and same with McDonald's. So I decided to check out the Taco Bell, went through the drive-thru and asked if they were participating, and the answer was no. So I was like, okay, let's try McDonald's. McDonald's says no. So I'm like, why the hell are you advertising that you're going to honor the vets with free meals, and then none of the stores are participating? They put that clause in it. It's like a public relations thing for McDonald's, for Taco Bell, for all these stores to advertise that they have free meals for veterans, okay? But then when you show up, they say, oh, we're not one of the participating stores, which I think is stupid. So I do appreciate the tip from the viewer, saying that they are doing some freebies and stuff, but I don't think it's worth driving around town trying to find any, because I didn't really drive around town. I was at the Walmart and went across the street for the food place, which I have some food and stuff, but I was like, well, you know what, it's Veterans Day. They say they're going to honor it. I think it is bullshit and an insult to veterans, that these big corporations like McDonald's, now I understand some of these are independently owned, they're franchises and stuff, so they don't have to participate, but just Google Veterans Day freebies, and you'll see all these companies. Now, I didn't go around testing all of them because I'm not going to waste my time and energy. So if you're not going to all participate, or all your franchises and stuff, don't advertise it as a national thing. Don't sit there and say that you're doing things to honor the veterans when you piss off the veterans who show up. So I'm not like, I wasn't like really hungry and wasn't really looking forward to it or anything. I just thought I'd check it out since one of the viewers pointed it out. But you can imagine, 2 out of 2 both said no after I drove up there and asked. Well, I'm like, I'm not going to order something from here. So what you're doing is having people drive up, veterans that you're supposedly thanking, drive up, and they just end up ordering. That's bullshit. Anyhow, for those of you who are active duty out there right now, and for those of you who are veterans, I want to thank you for your service. I do think it's bullshit that big companies like McDonald's and Taco Bell will advertise this kind of stuff. I don't know if the others are. I know they advertise like Golden Corral, maybe even Denny's. I'm not even going to check. I'm not going to bother going over there and driving over there or calling to find out and all that. I guess if it's worth it to you to call and go, what they want, like the sit-down places, what I found in the past, like at, I don't know if it was Golden Corral. I took my family to Golden Corral. They make money off your family, so the veteran gets a free meal, but it's like a very limited selection on what you can get. They give you like 1 item or 2 item meal, which is it's an okay meal and it's free and it's a nice gesture, but, it's limited in what you get, but then, you end up spending money on your family. But, that was annoying. I'm not upset with the viewer for pointing out the freebie day, because I don't know if they're talking about it on TV and stuff, but I'm not gonna bother leaving those reviews and stuff. Some people are saying leave the reviews on them and whatnot, but I really think maybe call the news. Say, why don't you guys try it and see what happens? Because my experience right now, 2 out of 2, I'm not going to drive around town and hit all these stores and just get myself even more pissed, because I bought some food that's frozen. So I got to get it home before it, thaws out. Because it's hot here in Florida today. But basically, I just think it's deceptive advertising, and you're taking advantage of the nation saying that, they value the vets and stuff. So you're saying that as a corporation or as a brand, you value the vets, when all you really want is veterans going to your place and then ending up buying your food, which I'm not going to buy. It just leaves a sour taste. It leaves you a bad taste in your mouth and a bad opinion of it. So rather than advertise it, don't even say you're going to do anything. And if you say, well, it's at select stores, so we have 100 stores, but only one is doing it, we're going to advertise it for all 100 stores. No. I think that's like a crock of shit. That's just, I don't know. So if you're a veteran out there and you really want those meals or whatever, you're probably going to want to call ahead. You probably don't want to drive out there, even though it's a chain, big chain, like McDonald's, or Taco Bell. Don't bother unless you call them ahead. If you feel even to call ahead for one taco, right? I think they advertise. I was like, well, you know what? I'll pick up a taco, and then I'll pick up a burger meal, and that'll be a little snack, and that'll be my lunch. So but not even for a taco. So I would say don't bother unless you really, really want a free taco and are wanting to put up with a call and verifying that it's at that location and everything else. I just think it's bad. It's a bad, it's in poor taste to do this on Veterans Day. I think it really is. Now, in the past, Golden Corral did honor it. And like I said, what I thought was interesting was, and this was kind of interesting, the way they handled it. I thought it was appropriate. Basically, when I went to Golden Corral, this was like a few years back, I took my family there to eat because they were saying, hey, you could get also the free meals and stuff. And, Corral's doing a dinner, so we can go eat at Golden Corral. So I took the family to Golden Corral, and when I went in there, we said, are you guys honoring the veterans meal? They said, sure. And then they just gave me a menu for the veterans thing. They didn't even ask for ID or anything, okay, because I guess it's based on trust. If somebody says they're a veteran, hopefully they're not lying. So I think it would have been, and that was how Golden Corral handled it a few years back, the one I went to in Port St. Lucie, and it was really nice. I thought it was nice that they honored it, but also when you showed up, they didn't make you pull out an ID and all the crazy stuff. I can understand there might be some fakers and stuff that want a free meal. But honestly, if you're having to check ID to see if someone's a vet before you honor it, I don't think that's cool either. I think that if you're offering it a Veterans Day thing and somebody says they're a vet, then you should give it to them. Especially if they're like a homeless vet. If they're like these kind of days and stuff like that, a homeless person, homeless veteran might be interested in a meal from McDonald's or something. And they may not have an ID on them. So I noticed on there, on a lot of the postings and stuff, when I looked at the freebies and I looked at the food places, they said with military ID or a Veterans Administration ID. So, they want an ID, which I can understand if they said, trying to screen out fakers and stuff. But honestly, I think if you're trying to do something like this to show, respect or gratitude towards a select group, to require an ID or something, I think that's kind of tacky, And I understand that there may be people who fake it, but really, how many people are going to fake it versus the real one? And then what are you going to do when a homeless vet who doesn't have an ID shows up? You're going to kick out the homeless vet because he doesn't have an ID card because he's not in the system? I don't know. It's like an insult to injury, added insult. So anyhow, I did hear back from my work regarding the dental situation. So there's gonna be a lot of stuff kicking up, but they're not wanting to hire full time till it actually kicks up. Which won't be till later, like way later. So now I'm like stuck. I'm trying to figure out what I should do here. So I will probably, I can't really do anything because of the situation. I'm still stuck. Okay. So I'll probably have to keep working, but it looks like for now dental may be off, unless they end up hiring me. Cause see my contract expires, but they're probably going to hire me back as part-time again. And then they said when it picks up, which will be around summer, then they'll go full time, and then at that time it would be hiring me as full time. So I don't know what's going to happen, but I was hoping that come January, February, and stuff, everything would reset. But it's not going to happen like that fast. But then again, life is like that. You don't really know what's going to happen, and you can't always predict what's going to happen next. So I think from my end, it's just a matter of proceeding with caution, proceeding as normal. I'm still trying to retire, but I can't really retire. And them extending the job, I guess I can look at that as a benefit, or good luck, in that instead of the contract ending and then they're letting me go, they're going to extend it as part-time. So I'll continue to work part-time and continue to do the YouTube, and I just won't be able to work on my teeth right away. So that's what's up with that. And as far as on this end, the vehicle here, you can see I got all that food. Look at all this water. I would say I didn't buy any soda, but I decided to buy some. I bought those 2-liter bottles. I bought like these to try to save money, and also to try to keep myself from drinking it all. I decided I bought 2 brands. I bought A&W, and I bought RC root beer. No, RC cola and A&W root beer. $1.25 at Walmart. And then I bought the Sam's Choice soda. I guess that's a brand. Sam's soda, which I don't think tastes as good as regular Coke, but it was like 65 cents or 67 cents. So if you really insist on soda and the taste, you're not taste sensitive, you can get the Walmart brand. It's a lot cheaper. But I bought, look at all this water. So my goal is to try to drink more water. Get the fan on here. My goal is to drink more water than soda. So instead of buying cans, because the cans were too convenient. When you have the can all chilled and you're thirsty and you're like a soda addict, you grab it. By having it in these bottles, I may chill it, and you have to open it, and then you have to pour it into a glass. So I may have one handy, but I also limited it to just 3 bottles that I bought. My hope is maybe, because my fridge is kind of small, I can only keep 1 in there, or maybe I won't even put any in there. Then they won't be chilled, which means I'll be less likely to want to drink it. I want to kind of have it, for when the kids show up for visitation and stuff, so I'll have soda for them. But this is what I want to chill, is these little bottles. So I bought 2 huge cases of bottled water, and some other 1-gallon bottles for cooking and stuff. And then of course just food. Oh man, I bought rotisserie chicken. I can't believe how cheap this was. I don't know if I can find it to prove to you how cheap it actually was. What the heck? The Walmart rotisserie chicken, I don't know if it's the same all over all the Walmarts, but it seems like the local ones around here lately have been selling them they lowered the price. They used to be $4.98 at the store I worked at the Walmart I worked at, but around here they were $4.50. That is a whole cooked chicken for $4.50, which is a great deal. But sometimes when people don't buy them up, they just cooked it the previous day, and then people don't buy them up, they are now, marking them down. They freeze it and then they mark it down. And look how much this was marked down to. I'm like, I can't even believe this price. You cannot even buy raw chicken at this price. Look at this. I know it's backwards for you guys, but it's $2.57. $2.57 for a whole rotisserie cooked chicken. It's cold and stuff, but with this chicken, I could eat it over 5 days. That's $2.57 for 5 days worth of meat. Unbelievable. And I also bought some pork butt steak, if you want to call it that, but that was also cheap. I think I bought 2 for $3 or $2 or something like that. So You know, if you eat them one a meal, it's like $1 per steak, but they're small. You know, they're thin. But if you chop them up into slices and slivers, then, you know, it becomes like a lot more, or it appears like a lot more. I'm just gonna, yeah. Timothy was saying either they sell it low like that or they have to throw it out. And believe it or not, they do throw them out if they don't sell. I remember when I was working at the Walmart, see, there's a certain time they have to mark them down. And then there's a certain time they have to pull them to freeze them. You know, like they can't mark them down and then let them sit. And when they don't sell, they can't put that in the freezer and then resell it the next day. They can't do that. There's like all these rules about food. So if they're gonna mark them down for resale, I think they pull them out and then they freeze them or they cool them down overnight. Then they mark them down. If you see the ones that are marked down that are hot on that night, they get marked down. I think the first markdown is at like I think approximately like 7 or 8 o'clock. You know, because the store stops selling them at 10 o'clock. But at like 7 or 8 o'clock, they get marked down. And you know, before they were like $4.98, we would mark them down to $2.90, $2.96 or $2.98. Okay, and then what would happen? Well, no. The first markdown would be $3 and something. You know, but then the second markdown would be $2 something. What I would do is I would mark it down, and because I didn't like the food, it was like freshly cooked being thrown out. I would mark it down and then for an hour, and then at 8 o'clock, if it didn't sell by 8 o'clock, that meant it only had 2 more hours left to sell. Well, actually only 1 more hour. Because starting about 9:30, we start collecting that to throw away. Okay? They don't even, and you're like, why don't they cool them down? And they're not allowed to do that. There's some kind of health standard food. So basically, if they don't get sold within an hour, I asked the department manager if I can go through and mark them down again, the second markdown. And then I'll mark them down, and then they're like $2.50. And it's like freshly cooked just about 2 hours ago, you know. So I'm like, I don't know if 2 hours is fresh, but it's fairly fresh. But I always tell people, you know, the people that are there late at night when they come in, they say, is it really this cheap? Why is it so cheap? And I tell them, well, here's a little secret. If it looks like we're going to toss them and the manager lets me, I double mark them down. So they're actually like super, super low. This is as low as you're going to get. And this is when you can come by and get these chickens. But they sell pretty fast. Usually when I double mark them down at $2.50, they go like that. And yeah, I got to go inside to put up the food. I want to thank you all for joining me. I wanted to basically thank all the other vets out there for your service. I know that sometimes it seems like people don't care. They say they do, but see, this is the kind of stuff that makes veterans, I think, get upset. You know, it's like lip service, saying, well, we're doing all these things. But as far as I understand, there is something that is national that might affect all van dwellers and stuff like that are veterans. From what I understand, there's some kind of new policy now that allows all veterans. All you have to do is show that you were a veteran, like on your driver's license or whatever, and you're going to be allowed to go into national parks for free. Before, they allowed you if you were like a wounded veteran or, you know, had some other issues. You know, like you weren't just a regular veteran. Regular veterans were exempt. But they just passed a new law. I think it went into effect today or a short time ago, that allows veterans, all veterans, to enter national parks for free. I'm going to look it up, and, you know, when things settle down a little bit, I might try to take this little car there to go camping. And I don't think we have any national parks around here. We have state parks. Most of the national parks are going to be out in, like, the Midwest, you know, sadly. I don't think Florida has very many national parks, if any. You know, we have a lot of state parks. I guess Ocala and stuff might be national. I'll have to double check. But look into that. Look into Veteran Pass for national parks. And I think it went into effect this year around Veterans Day. And I think it's not just on Veterans Day. Normally they do it for Veterans Day only. But I think this is like a more permanent type stuff unless they pass legislation again to remove it. But as far as I know, veterans now have at least that. The country's at least trying to do something. But yeah, I'm still a little bit pissed off with McDonald's and Taco Bell. Not that I went out of my way, I just drove across the street from Walmart, you know, but to see the advertisements and stuff like that, and it's plastered all over the place, and none of them are participating. Anyhow, I'm going to go ahead and sign out. I want to thank you all for joining me. I'm going to go ahead and sign out here, but let me just read here and see if anyone has anything. Mark 10 says, I need a swamp cooler. Swamp coolers, you know, require it to be kind of dry, and Florida's kind of humid. But it does somewhat work. I mean, I built not really a swamp cooler per se, but an ice cooler where, you know, the little cooler that blows ice at you. You know, it blows across the ice so the air's cold, so it blows cold air. And some people say that's a swamp cooler. Sort of, but not really. Swamp coolers are evaporative coolers. They basically blow moist air at you, and then the air evaporates. Whereas when you put the ice in there, ice chills the air, so it's blowing cold air at you. And says, how about the holiday work at Home Depot? I had checked Home Depot before, and they required the special ID. It was like you had to be like a retired veteran or some other weird stuff before. That also pissed me off. All these companies advertise that they honor stuff for veterans, but then when you go to ask them about it, they have all these weird requirements. Now, some people have the IDs and requirement and stuff. I'm not like a disabled veteran. I'm not a retired veteran. I'm just a regular veteran. See, a lot of people assume that, you know, all veterans get services. It's not true. Veterans normally don't get any service. The only veterans you see that get services are the ones that are disabled, you know, or sometimes retired veterans. They have the retired ID. Like, although they're starting to change it because I think there's not enough people using the services. Like the military base exchange, I don't know if regular veterans are allowed to use it now. But before, only retired veterans and disabled veterans and stuff were allowed to use it. I don't know if regular veterans have been allowed or not. The reason they've been allowing regular veterans, to use a lot of the services, I don't think it's just to be kind to the veterans. It's because there's not enough patronage. The military has scaled back so much that there's not as many veterans that can use those services. So you have like the base exchanges that are failing. You know, and also they're competing directly with like Walmart. So base exchanges used to be a great deal, but when you compare them to Walmart and Target and all that, the local stores are cheaper than the base exchanges. The only thing you might benefit from buying for base exchanges is stuff from another country. Like you could buy a German cuckoo clock on an American base if they have it there at that base, you know. So the thing is, the base exchange, that when you go there to buy stuff from another country, that's when you get a good deal on it. But if you went there to buy a computer, it's overpriced. If you went there to buy a TV, it's overpriced. You know, you can get it cheaper at Target, at Walmart, at whatever. Just scrolling through here. The Everglades is a national park. Maybe go into the Everglades to go camping. You know, I've been to the Everglades before. If any of you have ever been there, it's a swamp. I went down to the Everglades, and it's like you got this little road, and there's swamps on both sides. And then when you park, it's just swamps. And then if you go on the trail, the mosquitoes get so hungry. I guess there's not enough visitors or something down there at certain times. When you go there, they can smell you in your blood. And they literally coat your whole body, so you become covered with mosquitoes. Like a million of them fly on you. A friend and I went down there, and you know, we couldn't believe it. We walked through the trail, and as soon as we went through these bushes, a million mosquitoes showed up, and we're like, man! And we ran back to the car, and we took out our you know, our DEET and all this other stuff, the spray on. It said super maximum power, and then we went back to the thing, you know, that tree area, and stepped through again. And I kid you not, those mosquitoes didn't give a shit. They were all over us again. I'm like, This stuff was so strong we could smell it and could barely breathe. But the mosquitoes, they were so hungry, they didn't care. They didn't care that you were coated literally wet with off. They were all over us. Chance says free to Gold Star families and veterans starting today. If you talk about the national park thing, I think it's not just Gold Star families. I think it's all veterans, if I read correctly, unless they misprinted. Because Gold Star families and disabled vets always had free access. But I think this year, I think they passed new legislation that says it's free for all veterans. But maybe I should double check it before I start talking about it, and send a lot of people there and they all get pissed off at Denoy. It's like they show up, they go camping on a national park and then get kicked out. So maybe I'll double check it, but you can Google it. Google National Parks Veterans Access, free veterans access or something like that. But as far as I know, they passed new law that goes into effect that allows all veterans to go, not just disabled or Gold Star or whatever. And yeah, I am going to go ahead and sign out. Paul wants to know if I still have PayPal. Yeah, I still have PayPal. I don't know if the link's available on the About or whatever. But you can send it through my email if you want it, but you don't really need to. I'm okay financially right now. I'm good. I'm working. My retirement has started with Florida. I'm working hard. I know you guys can't see it, but the YouTube videos, I've been tagging them and trying to categorize them so they get more views back up. So as the whole COVID situation with the world starts to ease off, and get under control here, hopefully the advertising will start to go up. I think all the YouTubers took a huge hit. This particular channel, we lost about 65-75% of our revenue. That's how bad the hit was. There are whole channels that are even hit worse than us. But I think the minimum, most channels got hit at least 65% lost revenue this year. It started in January, and it went downhill really, really fast. But from what I can tell with the statistics on this channel, because I've been broadcasting a lot more and trying to link the lists and do all that stuff, the descriptors and stuff. That's why you're seeing weird text, on the About and stuff. That's me trying to get it to show up more on the searches, because I'm trying to get more searches and stuff to try to offset the lost revenue by getting more views. So it is somewhat working. The channel was getting down, like before, we're talking about maybe a year and a half or 2 years ago, a year ago, I was about to hit $900 a month on this channel, which is enough to retire very well in Thailand. I mean, not real well, but better than now. And now we were down to $130 a month is what this channel ended up earning. That's this year. That's what it went down from like $800-900 a month. Then it started to drop. Then it was leveling off at about $700, a month or so is what I was making off this channel. But it ended up dropping down to $128 a month. But I got it back up. So right now the channel's doing okay. It's making like 200 something, But I'm trying to up it back up. I figure I have time before my retirement to try to get it up to. My goal would be if I could hit $1,000 a month. Because at $1,000 a month, if I'm broadcasting from Thailand, you're going to see me not in a little dinky studio condo, but maybe in that nice Taj Mahal one. By the way, if you wanted to check out that video I was talking about, on the video where I talk about retirement, how much money and stuff like that, saving money. There's a video, I think, where I have a dollar bill that I published a couple days ago. I put a comment that I think I pinned from the expat who's living in Thailand, where he shows the condo, and he actually has a playlist of all the different condos. I think he has condos ranging from $100 a month to $1,000 a month, so you can see how much it will buy in Thailand. Between $100 to $1,000. Like the residences I've been looking at, I've been trying to get them from anywhere from $45 up to $150 at the most. I think $150 a month is my cap. That seems really low. That would be really impossible in America, but in Thailand, $150 is an okay studio condo, apartment or whatever. It's not going to be super nice, but it should have a bedroom, a little bathroom, maybe a little kitchenette. What you would pay for between $800 to $1,200 a month around here in Florida. So that's what I'm looking for right now. But if the YouTube income were to go up, and stay roughly at least, $500 to $1,000 a month, I could potentially stay in one of those really nice units, and then that would be like really different. But what's really crazy about it all, it would be cheaper there. Like if I was paying $500 a month to live in Thailand in one of those nice condos, the tourist condos that are, in a high-rise building overlooking a nice pool and all that, that's still cheaper than me living in an RV park in the United States. That's crazy. But that's what happens when you convert the money overseas. If you're in a country where your normal monetary unit, whether it's dollars or euros or whatever, expands, becomes worth a lot more. Anyhow, I'm going to go ahead and sign off because I got to go take the food in and let it chill. Maybe we'll do a cooking episode just to show people, some stuff I picked up. But yeah, look at this. $2.57. This is like a whole week. So, good way to save money. Always look for those yellow stickers. All right. Hey, that was very nice, Paul. You didn't need to do that, but thank you. Much appreciated. Yeah, I'm going to let you guys go. Take care. God bless you all. Maybe we'll do a cooking episode later. Maybe. So you can see some of this food that I bought. Until next time, I'm going to take care. God bless you all. Please stay safe. And if you're a veteran, thank you for your service.